I picked up this vintage Canon PowerShot A1100is recently, and it's a little bit too ooh-woo for my taste, but still a great little camera. These PowerShots are indestructible, and they take great pictures. Now, there's quite a bit of paint wear on this camera. Somebody had clearly loved this thing and used it a lot, and it just didn't look all that good. It looked a little bit ratty. So it got me thinking about how I could repaint this thing to get it looking a little bit better, how I would color match this metallic pink factory paint from Canon. And the first thing that popped to mind was nail polish, because it would come in a metallic pink, and it's really tough and durable stuff. Like, it lasts on people's nails for a really long time. So it should be tough enough to withstand, handling a camera, taking it in and out of the case, that sort of thing. So I asked around a little bit, and my sister is also a very talented artist and maker and doesn't think it's weird when I ask things like, hey, could I look at your collection of pink metallic nail polish to paint a camera? Thankfully. So she donated a bag of nail polish she wasn't using. And I found one that was pretty close. It was certainly close enough for this experiment, and I decided to try and shoot it through my airbrush. I've used an airbrush for a lot of things over the years. I painted guitars, I used to build model kits, things of that nature. I've never shot anything metallic through one, and certainly never sprayed nail polish. Because you can thin nail polish and remove it with acetone, I knew that it had to be a lacquer base. I've sprayed lacquer-based paints before, so it should stand to reason that this is gonna pan out. So let's turn around, let's pop over to the bench, and let's give this a shot and see what happens. First, I'm going to start by taking some 99% isopropyl alcohol and just degreasing this. I just want to make sure that there's no fingerprints on here. There's no schmutz that I'm going to have to deal with, and I'm going to give the paint a really nice clean surface to cling to. Surface prep is like 99% of what makes a good paint job. So this area in here, I actually ended up masking with clear tape, mostly because I couldn't see through the Tamiya masking tape well enough to follow that curve there, that little curved shape. And I did screw it up a little bit. I'm gonna have to do a little tiny bit of sanding before I paint. But sometimes this is still the better way to mask things, especially when your visibility isn't great. It's not a super sharp curve. So I'm going to continue masking along this line here, back here, around, down, and I'm going to get this battery door as well, and I'm going to mask around the Canon logo next. So around the battery door release button, I'm going to use a trick that scale modelers use all the time. And I'm going to get a little piece of tissue paper and get it wet. And then I'm going to push it around where I want it with a toothpick and probably the tip of a utility knife. It's really easy to move around when it's wet. You can basically mold it like paper mache. And the paint can't go through it. It's a really good little technique for filling in some smaller openings on something that you're masking off. With all the fine detail masking taken care of, we can switch to the full width masking tape and start covering this thing. So for masking around the logo, I'm going to be using some of the Tamiya masking tape because it's tough and flexible. And I'm going to do that by placing it over the logo and pushing it down firmly. And then I'm going to take a toothpick and just kind of burnish the edges down around the raised lettering. And that's going to give me a really nice sharp demarcation line for when I follow up in a minute here with my utility knife. So it's important to use a new blade in your craft or utility knife here and just very gently follow the grooves that you emboss the tape into. Take your time, don't push too hard, and try to follow that line as precisely as you can. And once you've gone all the way around, you can lift one corner of the tape and very gently peel away the unwanted portion of the tape. After I do that, I'm going to come back in with my burnishing tool again and just make sure that the tape edges haven't lifted from where I don't want them to. I'm going to burnish it all the way around one more time before I paint. That looks pretty good. I think we're ready to go here. So I've decanted this, mixed it with some lacquer thinner, 50-50, and I've got it mixed here in the jar, and I'm just going to give this a good mix because it's for the metallics. Okay, here we go. So that is all done, and I would say that is pretty close. Let that dry for a few minutes, and then I'll come back down here and peel it off. I'll give you a little teaser here. So a little bit to clean up, but not too much. So I think that that turned out pretty well. I think it was well worth the time it took me. It was worth the, minimal outlay in money. Nail polish tends to be fairly cheap compared to automotive paint, and you don't need all that much. It's very durable, and it's actually a very close color match. I think it looks a little bit better than it did. So I hope that you guys found that entertaining. I hope that that's helped some of you out. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to hit me up in the comments below. If you know anybody that has a similar problem, please share this video with them. It helps the channel grow, and I really appreciate it. So until next time, keep making cool stuff, and I look forward to seeing you again. Ciao.